Hello, my name is Corey Gonzalez, and I'm going to be doing my presentation on the Battle of Kabala and Ashura. So important figures that you need to know will be Muawiyah, the fifth Caliph of Islam and former governor of Syria, appointed by the Caliph Othman. Muawiyah became Caliph after the assassination of Imam Ali during the Islamic Civil War. Ali intended on his son Hassan to become the Caliph after his death. However, Muawiyah and Hassan made a compromise, making Muawiyah the caliph. In return, Hassan would become caliph after the death. Hassan is the son of Imam Ali and intended successor of Ali. Hussein is the other son of Imam Ali, known as the Prince of Martyrs. Yazid I is the son of the Caliph Muawiyah. The Hassan and Muawiyah Treaty. Imam Ali is assassinated during the civil war with Syrian governor Muawiyah. Hassan was the designated caliph after Ali. However, during the civil war, both Ali and Muawiyah would not be able to compromise with each other to end the civil war. To end the disputes and the civil war, Hassan and Muawiyah signed a treaty to compromise, making Muawiyah the new caliph, and then after the death, he would appoint Hassan to become the caliph. However, the controversy begins as Hassan dies. Some say he died of natural causes, and others believe he was poisoned. After Hassan dies, some believe that Hussein should be appointed caliph, as he was the next in line of the two brothers of Ali. However, Muawiyah appoints his son Yazid as the successor after his death. Hassan and Hussein are important because they were Prophet Muhammad's first wife Khadijah and the Prophet Muhammad's first wife Khadijah was his only wife to bear children. However, Muhammad never had any male offspring that survived, reaching adulthood. Therefore, there was nobody to really success him in the political aspect of Islam or the new designated leader as a religion. After Muhammad Prophet marries his eldest daughter to Ali, they have two boys, Hassan and Hussein. The Prophet cherishes his grandsons as he was unable to raise any male offspring of his own, and none of his others had any male offspring as well. So Hassan and Hussein are important because they were the only male relatives to pass on the Prophet's bloodline. After Muhammad declares Fatima, Ali, and Ali, the family of Al-Bayt, which is the people of the house of Muhammad, those the Prophet held the closest. And this happened after there's a feud between Muhammad's favorite wife Aisha and Fatima, where Fatima thought that Aisha was getting more favoritism than her, and went to Muhammad, and he declared that he cannot treat the two the same because one is his wife, one is his daughter. However, this causes many issues between the two, and Ali ends up confronting Muhammad about the two issues, and in order to settle the disputes between his closest followers of Abu Bakr, Omar, so on and so forth, and then his bloodline and family, and that's when he created the Al-Bayt to separate the two and know that each of them holds special spots and designated positions in his life. Shia Muslims believe that the successor of the Prophet must be the blood descendant of Ali, and therefore Shia stands for the followers of Ali. Fatima and the Al-Albayt. Shia Muslims often view Fatima as the Holy Mother, alike to Christians' views of the Virgin Mary. Both Fatima and Mary had their sons sacrificed for the better of society. Fatima is often depicted with the poisoned heart of Hassan, which you can see in the picture, and Hussein as a child, or sometimes beheaded to symbolize the unjust government of man and those who wish to pervert Islam for their own personal benefit. The holiday of Ashura is sacred and intended for the mourning of the loss of Hussein, the baby that's depicted inside the picture. And in the picture on our right, you can see Fatima, the heart of Hassan, baby Hussein, and the cousin of Ali, of the Prophet Muhammad Ali. Hassan is poisoned before the death of Muawiyah, and many believe that he was poisoned by his wife Jada. However, some people still believe that he died of natural causes. Hassan had several wives who competed for his personal, political, and religious power, and therefore many people believe that Jada could have been corrupted by Muawiyah to poison her husband. In return, she would get a fortune and be able to marry Yazid, and become his only wife, and he would become the designated caliph. So, giving her religious and political power as the only wife of the caliph. It is unclear whether Jada poisoned Hassan or not. After the death of Muawiyah, appoints his son Yazid as caliph instead of the designated Ali, and Hassan is buried in Jannat al-Baqi, which I have a picture on the right hand corner showing that. Yazid becomes caliph, which is a very important time in the history of Islam. After the death of his father, Muawiyah, he was warned to deal with Hussein quickly to secure his position and prevent another war between Syria and the Iraq. However, he also tells Muawiyah also insists Hussein to pardon Hussein if he is assassinated because he refuses to declare Yazid the caliph. Yazid attempts to capture Hussein with the intentions to get Hussein to concede or be assassinated. However, Hussein hears the news and attempts to unify Iraq under his name, and Hussein is not successful. The Battle of Kabala is where Yazid's military and the 72 companions of Hussein end up meeting face to face. Yazid knew about Hussein's attempt to unify Iraq under his name, and he sent out the military, which is approximately 30,000 men, to get Hussein to pledge his alliance to Yazid or die. Hussein refuses to pledge alliance to Yazid, holding the belief that he was the rightful caliph. Furthermore, he continues his father's blood feud between the Umayyad dynasty and the family of the Prophet. Yazid hoped to prevent Hussein and his followers from obtaining food and water, and would force Hussein to concede. However, Hussein and his followers do not concede, even though that they are not allowed to obtain any food or water while they're being held in the hot desert of Iraq. However, a couple days later, Hussein pleads for the military to give water to his 6-month-old son. The military refuses and shoots an arrow through the chest of his son. Hussein and his men fight the army until all fall. A few women and children survive. One of the children is the son of Hussein, and the military brings back Hussein's child and the women with the beheaded with the heads of Hussein and some of his followers. Some believe that Yazid ends up playing with the head of Hussein, and that causes a lot of issues within his ranking members of his term. This is a picture of the Battle of Kabbalah. If you can see, it's a desert. There's very few men being surrounded by thousands of men who are blocking the water and any other food source in an attempt to get Hassan to concede to Yazid. And so now we're going to be talking a little bit more about Ashura, which is how the news reaches the Muslim population of the massacre of the Al-Arbayt on the behalf of Yazid is that his family and the close companions who ended up surviving the Battle of Kabbalah end up telling people, and there's a big, huge uproar, because regardless if you were Sunni or Shia, which is not yet designated at this time as a fault line, however you believed would become the caliph after the death of Muhammad, it was a very traumatic moment because he was the bloodline of Muhammad, and people were rightfully upset. Ashura is remembered on the 10th day of Muharram, the first month of the Islamic calendar, and it's translated to English as prohibited, as symbolism of peace and unity in Islam. And underneath, I have a picture of the shrine of Hussein. The next slide is how some Shia Muslims celebrate Ashura. They do it with self-flagellation. They use self-flagellation to remember the horrendous acts of Yazid. However, many Muslims speak out against self-flagellation and cite the Quran as against the practice. They believe that it gives the wrong idea of Islam to outsiders, and further puts on the belief that they are savages and not the same as other religions. Other viewings of Ashura include Muslims donating blood through a charity of Hussein, volunteering for charity, reenacting the Battle of Kabbalah, and remembering Hussein through murals, having parades promoting justice and human well-being, and feeding and Medicare for the homeless. And so down on the other corner, you see Muslims who are preparing food and giving it out to homeless people. And along with that, a lot of times they have different medical facilities that will allow homeless people to come in that have different medical issues to get those fixed during this time to help promote the holiday as well as remembering Hussein. And this last slide is just some pictures of Ashura. On the top left corner, you see the front of one parade where they are talking about the martyrdom of Imam Hussein. Then there's the Imam Hussein Blood Donation Campaign, which is across several countries and donates thousands of quarts of blood to many individuals. On the bottom, you have a picture of the Battle of Kabbalah, and then last is just the day of Ashura in the Islamic calendar.